All right, I'm here at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. My man Darren Woodson, three-time Super Bowl champion, is here. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to see you. We haven't seen each other in a long time.
It's been a while.
All the old ESPN folks are running around, and we're bumping into each other, so it's good.
It's so good to see you. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you joined us on Sports Spectrum. I want to get right to the faith aspect and really just talk to you about Jesus. Who's Jesus to you now? How's your relationship with the Lord going, your walk, especially at this stage of life?
No, man, it's stronger and stronger. Yeah. I mean, the Lord's got a path for me, and He wrote that story for me years ago, and I'm just trying to follow the path, man. And and it's one thing to be a believer and understanding what my path is, but then to also be a manager for my kids, because they're the Lord's babies.
Yes.
I just manage them and try to get them in the right guide them in the right direction. But I'm just in a good place, man, and it's because of foundation. So I got so much, respect for my family and how I was born and raised, and we grew up, and my mom was always strong in her faith, and we were in church, but we weren't just in church, we were in the Lord, we were in relationships. So I got so much respect for my family and how they raised me through this process too.
One of my favorite stories is I was preaching at my church when I was still at ESPN. I think it was Jay Harris that told you, or Stephanie, his wife, hey, Romano's preaching, you should come by Hillside.
Yeah.
And I'm literally in the middle of preaching a message, a sermon. By the way, Hall of Famer right there. Literally in the middle of preaching a sermon, and Darren Woodson walks into Hillside Community Church. I don't know why I was nervous, but I'm like, that's my guy. And it's like, all right, just keep preaching the gospel. But walked into my church, man.
Yeah, well, not just walked into your church, but I saw your faith early. And it's crazy because I could walk on that campus and be around people I know the Lord was working on. Right? You just have
You just kind of know, right?
Yeah, you just kind of know who He's working on and who's truly believing and following that path. And when Jay told me that you were preaching, I said, okay, I'll be there. What's the address? I'll be there. So I showed up, but I was a little late coming off the show. But it was good to see you up there.
How are my Cowboys going to fix this? How are your Cowboys going to fix this, Darren?
I'm talking good about my faith.
I know. We really need the Lord when we start talking about the Dallas Cowboys here.
It always starts. I'm a business owner, Jason, and it always starts up top. It does. It starts with ownership. It starts with the GM. It starts with the coaching staff, and then it bleeds itself down into the players. And I mean, I fundamentally believe that they have to find ways to bring in people that love the game of football, not just the star on their helmet, but guys who love playing at the highest level. I watch number 15 for the Kansas City Chiefs run around every week, and he's pretty good, but he's also passionate about the game. And it pays off. It's every single day of his life. That's the passion. I played with guys in Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and a whole bunch of other guys who just truly believed in what they were putting out. So it was showing up early. It was the offseason, being involved in the off-season program. That's how you build a team. It's not that you just show up on Sundays or show up to training camp and you start playing. It starts early in the offseason. It starts right now of working out together, getting to know each other, and not missing days and preparing. And then you find out what you have as the season goes on. But there's a lot of culture that plays into this.
I would never say we need to pray for our Cowboys, but I'm going to say it. We need to pray for our Cowboys.
We got to pray. Things have changed. Things are changing. And, I was surprised that they hired Schottenheimer because he had been in the building for a long time and he wasn't calling plays. But they saw something. They didn't want a lot of turnover. They wanted to keep some of the same things that were flowing for them offensively and didn't want a lot of change like they had on the defensive side of the ball last year with Mike Zimmer coming in with his new scheme. It took them 12 weeks to figure it out. Yeah. So I respect that maybe they know better of having Shotty as a head coach, but now it's time to build around it. They have to build around it. You can't just sit on this right now.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 29 years, almost 30 years since y'all won your last Super Bowl and Super Bowl 30. You're here for a reason. Why don't you just share a little bit about what you're doing here at the Super Bowl?
I'm here with Choctaw Casino and Resort. They're the big resort, casino resort that is right up in southeast Oklahoma, right across the border. It's a 50-minute drive from my home, 90 minutes from DFW. But we go up all the time. I've had an 8-year relationship with Choctaw Casino Resort. They're one of the top resorts in the country. And I've always gone if I wanted to go for gaming in Vegas, I'd go with my family out there to Vegas. Now I just drive up the street. and get that same fulfillment. But it's been awesome to have this relationship. Now it's myself, it's Troy Aikman, it's Emmitt Smith, it's Pud Rodriguez. We've got this little thing we call where the players play, and it's up in Choctaw Casino. So I take my family up there all the time, man. We have a great time on the resort.
I love it. Yeah, I know there's a few casinos here. We were in Vegas last year, and we stopped in a couple of the sportsbook places just to have some fun. So it's always great to be around that. All right, you asked me, who do I got Sunday? I'm going to ask you. So I have the Eagles. Yep. I have them 34-24. Here's why. Man. Here's why. Okay. I know people were like, wait a minute, that feels like a blowout. It's not a blowout. It's a late field goal or a late touchdown. If this game is under 7, Kansas City's winning because they are 17-0. I'm pulling my ESPN stats and info here. 17-0. The Chiefs are in their last 17 games when the score is 1 possession or less. So they win close games, 17-0. So the Eagles are a better team in my opinion. But if they're going to win, they have to win by more than 7. So I'm taking them by 10. What do you think?
I'm going to say this.
It pains me to pick the Eagles, by the way, as a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, it does. I think the Eagles, I agree with you. I think the Eagles are, personnel-wise, they are the better team. But there's something about 15, like in these moments.
I agree.
It's not like he's played lights out all season, but when you just said it, when it's a close game, he just figures it out. In order for the Eagles to win this game, the Eagles are going to have to run the ball with Saquon Barkley and then take their shots down the field. Hands down. They're going to have to do that. The way the Chiefs are going to win this game is if Mahomes and if they allow Kelsey to win on third downs, the Eagles are going to lose this football game.
That's how the Chiefs have won pretty much all of those 17 games I just described, right?
Absolutely. And they just have metal. There's something about championship metal.
So you're picking the Chiefs?
I'm going to go. Look, I love greatness.
Yeah, I know.
And until someone beats them, I'm going with the Chiefs. I think we're witnessing greatness right now.
First team to win 3 in a row. By the way, this guy played on a team that should have won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
1994 we don't talk about, but 92, 93, 95, 3-time Super Bowl champion Darren Woodson here on Sports Spectrum. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you, brother.